crazy with it and just get into these engagements overall. And I think based on the positioning of a couple of these guys, forcing the issue really isn't a play because you're not going to be able to retake high ground. So just take the best play that you can and be okay. But if you talk about Fernando, you talk about ICV, they have the ultimate power position here up top. Albeit the zone will eventually collapse, the chances of them being in the safety of that zone is going to be slim. But if they get a chance, if they happen to get a chance where they're inside of zone, they can absolutely get blessed. And I love that team fire trying to break the builds quick enough for Riverson to fall. That would have been devastating.
Would have been devastating. It looks like Team Xset is taking a kind of cooler rotation, but it looks like a lot of these teams are trying to jockey for dead side here. And that is what Riverside looks like. He found some Marauders going to Stink Bomb to get inside. A couple of hits there, white tags there, and Team Xset is now entrapped with this cabin here with Riverside, and they're going to try to get away as much as possible. It's not the fight that they wanted. We do see a big battle as well happening a little bit on the upside, so a lot of teams grabbing this focus right now down in these cabins as we see Zay, Saf, and Stretch right now looking over as well, and they're going to try to get involved. But this is some bad news bears for these teams because they're so down south on the bottom of this elevation. If it goes up, then you saw up there Team Cloud is sitting very, very pretty on top of this mountain, and Zay already knows that he needs to get up this mountain, and that's why he's kind of billing his way up, and he's trying to tell his team, hey, come on over here, we'll let them deal with that, and we'll pick them off. But that is for Zay and reloading that.
And I'm glad that you talked about the elevation because it's going to be tricky. Fighting alongside of these mountains is going to be tough. I would, kind of relate it to doing a fight around trees. It's just something you don't want. And when you have Zayt, Saf, who are going to be up top, right, it's going to be tough for, Riverson, for Knight, for the Xset boys to rotate over. Plus, Creo has the ultimate hide. He's going to be able to laser down. Right now, they're safe, but who knows how long they're going to be safe for. And they can't just build up the mountain. It's way too much. They're going to get lasered on top. If they get in, they're safe. They're feeling okay. They've got plenty of mats to work with. No worries. We notice also Kanata and Co has managed to get into the safety of that zone too. But now the zone is collapsing in, and we're going to have our moving zone taking place, and everybody now is going to have to go all the way across. They're going to have some elevation that they got to get through, but it's from one obstacle to the other. This zone is not easy by any means, Sancho, and it's being made even harder because Somerset, Nano, Eclipse are going in. Synth has already fallen, and Commandment now trying to keep them up.
Eclipse with the great call. The third place finisher in FNCS squads was holding and letting his team going to get that spray down as Commandment, his team is on his heels. But what a great call from Eclipse to hold, and what a big play inside the box. And Eclipse and his squads are going to go ahead and fight toe-to-toe against Somerset. Down goes Commandment, big time hit, and ICV finishes out Emad and his squad. But what a great call from Eclipse to kind of hold that out as we're seeing Stretch, Zay, and Saf going for height, seeing that it goes up a mountain, and they have the head start to compete for high ground reflections as the rest of the lobby is going to have to make their way back on board with Eclipse, who made that last play. And Storm Surge is a big factor here as 13 people have to go down going into this next circle.
And that's Stretch too, right? Stretch, he is 89 below, so he needs to get a couple of tags or else he's going to start getting tagged himself. But talk about Eclipse, 649 above. He is not having any worries at all, and that's based on that engagement he was able to get earlier. Miro getting tagged up. Stretch not playing around, and he's going to maintain his position. He's going up, and he is able to stay safe. Unknown, though, he's going to be up top. Actually, for the most part, he's relaxed, and he's even saying, look, I got a couple of mats here, boys. Come pick them up. We're chilling. We got high ground, and we're just going to wait until everybody else starts to rotate up. But Unknown, he's got to start getting some tags because Storm Surge is going into effect on him.
Yeah, and this is going to go up and over the mountain. That's going to be a bad rotation here for Circle 7 here. And no doubt the terrain was a big factor. So many people were at a stalemate because they had to make the choice of whether to navigate up the mountain. And Benji's getting tagged hard, but he's going to have to use all his materials as Safe, Stretch, and Saf are sitting on the high ground looking pretty, and this is where the Shockwave grenade launcher may become a big factor. He doesn't have a lot of rockets, but they're going to be able to hold this high ground very aggressively as the rest of the lobby is still struggling. Now Storm Surge is over, so that's not going to be a factor, but what is a factor is a dominant position of Zayt, Saf, and Stretch.
Say taking a little bit of damage, but it was worth it to get the refresh. Epic Will up top. He also has the grappler in hand if he decides to use it. So something to think about. Only 9 players remain, and right now there are a lot of players up top fighting for that high ground. Nano dropping. No! Nano drops down way too far, and this is going to be tough, especially now if that zone goes back up. Hopefully he has the mats to get back into the fight. Fernando will fall. Stretch picks up yet another one. He has been popping off.
Looks like Stretch, Safe, and Zat they might have this opportunity as it goes back a little bit over old builds. They do have the height stamina to hold it tight as we're on board here with Nano. Nano is the last person. He is almost, I believe, I'm trying to look around. He's very close to height himself, so he has to be careful and drop down as much as possible. But he does get hit with an RPG and gets sent down low as Miro picks it up another elim, and Nano is doing his best to farm and get as much elim as possible as Bugha and Avery come in, and Bugha closes the door to that run. But Zap, and Stretch are sitting pretty on the high ground as we're heading into the final rotation here, and the circle is going to close. They're in commandment right now. Actually, Kanata and Creo are really close to height, so Stretch and Zay have to do their best to get this team off of it.
And they look like they might be able to do so. I don't know. Stretch right now, I mean, he's sitting pretty. He also has the impulse, so he can actually just yeet people out into the storm if he so decides. So he has that in his inventory. But the fact that all 3 members are up here with only 11 members remaining here, they are in such a solid position that I don't know if they can get taken down. But then again, the low ground warriors, and I say that, you know, obviously because of the fact that Kanata is lower, but the fact is, this is still a deadly zone to be in. All mats are being used. Things are getting crazy. One player is going to fall down. Storm now in full effect. Rex goes down. Creo also falls. We're going to see Epic Well drop. Zayt, Rex. Zayt now also picks yet another one up. Staff is able to pick up Kanata. Creo will fall. We're now down to just 6 players as Stretch is battling against the Storm and the remaining people. Stretch now. Saf going to be safe, and so Bugha now. He's going to die from the Storm. Only 4 players are going to remain. Saf is going to be safety in the zone right now, but no! Nero's out of the way. He goes up, and it's over with. It's going to be Stretch, who popped off for so many moments beforehand. They're going to take the victory, and Zayt and Saf better be buying it.